Cookie Run Kingdom has been a game that I have kept coming back to over the years. I began playing during the Disney collaboration and have enjoyed the series ever since. Actually, a little side note here, but I originally learned about the game's existence from this Scratch game by Fire Mayro. Very well made, by the way. So I guess if he is somehow watching this, then you have my thanks. Anyway, recently I had been playing the game, and with how much more story we have gotten lately, I had the thought, would it be possible to complete Cookie Run Kingdom using only the story cookies? To which I told myself, well, there's only one way to find out. So here we are. Because of how lengthy just this video was to record, I will be splitting these videos into a multi-part series. So, without further ado, let us get straight into it. Before we begin the challenge though, let's first establish some rules that we will be following for this challenge. To determine which cookies we can use, we will be using the story, obviously, to tell us which cookies are in each level. If we are not explicitly shown or told which cookies are in that level, then we will assume it is the same as the previous level. If a cookie is not used at all during the story, then that cookie is essentially useless to us and will not be used. I'm sorry, Shadow Milk Cookie, you and your minions will be missed. Well now that that's out of the way, we can actually begin.
In the distant past, after the chaos of iron and flame subsided, many creatures baked by the witches scattered across the world. Among them were the five cookies graced with soul jam of the purest kind, wise and powerful. They rallied others to their cause. As kings and queens, they ruled the cookies, bringing in a golden age of peace and prosperity. But this age was not fated to last. A harbinger of darkness appeared and let shadow and evil infest the land. And once more, the world erupted into chaos. But the five cookie heroes, guardians of peace, have risen. Twilight covered the land, and the war for destiny begins.
As we begin our journey, we follow during the final battle of the Great Flower War. For one of the only times in the game, we get to fight with all five ancients on one team. Eventually, we complete the battle, and after Pure Vanilla Cookie makes one last desperate attempt to stop Dark Enchantress Cookie, an explosion occurs and all six of them vanish. Well, that was fun while it lasted. It is here that we are introduced to Gingerbrave as he escapes from the witch's oven. After a bit of fighting, he passes out, and we are then introduced to the Strawberry Cookie, Wizard Cookie, and the Sugar Gnomes. After conversing with them, I named the kingdom after this challenge playthrough, and then finally got a chance to collect all of the free gifts that were out at the time. Now, I should mention that when I started this challenge, it was currently the first part of the 5th anniversary of Cookie Run Kingdom in January, and there were several different free gifts or codes that were available at the time. Although I won't be able to use a lot of the cookies that I will pull from the gachas, it certainly helps to get soul stones as well as soul cores to promote the characters we will be using a bunch. Cough cough, Gingerbrave, Strawberry, Wizard Cookie, cough cough cough. This also provides us the opportunity to unlock several other characters that, while we can't use them currently, will be of significant use to us later. After this, we make it to our first level, which is Scary Forest. This is the first opportunity that we are given where we can organize our team, yet for now there is nothing to change. At the end of this level, we are granted our first special cookie cutter, which after obtaining grants us access to the gacha. For this instance though, we are forced to use the special cookie cutter, which grants us another important character for our journey, Chili Pepper Cookie. We are then told that these cookie cutters quite literally have the power to draw a cookie from whatever they are doing to right where the user of the cookie cutter is. Interesting to think about for all the different cookies that you can pull, and makes you think of how badly that could go if you say, I don't know, pull a beast cookie or dark enchantress cookie and just bring them to your kingdom. That aside, another thing that was going on is that new players of the game will receive both Moonlight Cookie and Milky Way Cookie. While normally these would be great cookies for anyone starting out, we will almost never be able to use these cookies, and even once we are at the point where we can, that isn't until much further down the line. Right after we receive these two cookies, the story continues and we are immediately thrown into our first set of dark cookies, this being the iconic trio of Licorice Cookie, Poison Mushroom Cookie, and Schwarzwalder. I guess Batcat is here too. These evil cookies are currently attempting to steal the Soul Jam crown from the castle in our kingdom. Gingerbrave and the others attempt to interfere, yet Licorice Cookie places the crown on a cakehound's head and it takes off. Well, how much trouble can one little cake doggy be? I'm sure we'll get that back fairly quickly.
That's called foreshadowing.
We give chase to the cakehound and make our way to the first level of episode 1-1, where we add Chili Pepper Cookie to the team. We complete the level, yet the cakehound escapes, and we then continue on into 1-2, where we encounter an interesting cookie playing with the crowned cakehound. This turns out to be Custard Cookie III, yet as we show up, the cakehound runs off once again. We now obtain Custard Cookie III, where we learn that he is a noble and decides to become our king, much to the disbelief of Wizard Cookie. We are then introduced to Star Jellies and are finally able to begin leveling up our cookies, being forced to use a few off the bat on Chili Pepper Cookie. It is here that we take a little break to check out all the free stuff available to us. I quickly cleared out the 5th anniversary area and used the daily free stuff before moving on to the events tab where I was able to get a few free cookies. In the Dominion of Beasts, I chose Eternal Spice Cookie because although I won't be able to use him, on my own personal save, I had chosen Mystic Flower Cookie and had already seen her story. I then moved on to the Might of the Ancients, where I chose Pure Vanilla Cookie since he is the earliest of the Ancients that we can use, and his healing will be a great asset to the team. Next I move on to the Cookies of Darkness, where I watch the story for the beginning, yet for now that will be a challenge for another day. After that I moved on to our cookies, where I definitely did not overlevel almost all of them that we are using at the moment with the free Star Jellies we had gotten. I then went on a short gacha spree, so here is a quick montage of the results.
This hammer!
I then promoted Gingerbrave a couple of times with the soul stones I had pulled from the gacha, as well as leveled up Chili Pepper Cookie some more for the road. It is here that we finally get back into episode 1, where in level 1-3 we add Custard Cookie III to the team and are given the last bit of tutorial. Finally, the tutorial is over. After level 1-3, Gingerbrave and the crew have officially lost the crowned cakehound, but give chase to try and find it again. We quickly complete 1-4, yet in 1-5 our little fellowship grows hungry and finds some rotten bear jellies. Yet Wizard Cookie advises them to not eat them, so they move on. The group then encounters a pack of cakehounds gobbling down on the rotten bear jellies, to which Chili Pepper Cookie then scares them off. The group, still hungry, smells something delicious in the distance and heads over. Level 1-6 is completed in a breeze, and we come across a bear jelly village where the group is treated to a delicious meal. It is here that we learn that the royal jelly carriage never arrived, to which Gingerbrave tells them that they can help those bear jellies make it back to the village. We then move on to 1-7, where we encounter Maestro Sugar Gnome being held captive by Licorice Cookie. The group quickly chases Licorice Cookie off, and, after defeating a few cake monsters, frees Maestro Sugar Gnome. We then move on and encounter the cutest dragon I have ever seen, before moving on and completing level 1-8. It is here that we encounter a solid barrier that we need to remove with an axe, so as we go back to the kingdom to craft some— oops, my hand slipped. We then knock down the barrier and then move on to level 1-9. After this, we encounter some collapsed bear jellies on the road where we are told that the cake monsters stole all of their royal jelly. We then complete levels 1-10, 1-11, and 1-12, where afterwards we encounter some more collapsed bear jellies where we are told similar information as the first set of collapsed bear jellies did. We then encounter a jolly bear jelly who tells us that they took his friends and that we need to save them. We then move on to level 1-13, where we have our first boss against Schwarzwalder, or currently known as Choco Warehound Brute. Seeing him like this feels weird, since his speech is most certainly not as proper as I know it can and will be later on, but we're not here to dwell on that fact. Because I might have just overleveled my characters a little bit, we completely wreck him in no time at all. Just like that, we go to move on, but the bridge is collapsed, so for the meantime, we head back to the kingdom. As we arrive back, the castle is built, as well as the Fountain of Abundance. After a bit of chat between our 5 cookies, this awesome cutscene plays out, which I shall let play in full. Well, since we're almost done, of course you know it's time for yet another obligatory gacha section. After our polling is done, I used the soul stones we had gathered to upgrade Ginger Brave to 4 stars, Strawberry Cookie to 1 star, and Wizard Cookie to 1 star as well, with a short turnaround to add our gathered star jellies to Ginger Brave. Wait, it says here that there is yet another obligatory gacha set? Alright, now that that is out of the way, I used some of the new pools we had gathered to promote both Strawberry Cookie and Wizard Cookie to 2 star, before finally returning to the bridge to repair it and finally complete Episode 1. So you know how I mentioned there were a lot of free goodies with the anniversary going on? Yeah, apparently all that's left in the footage is even more gacha openings, so I guess we will do that before we conclude the video. Alright, so I know what you're all probably thinking. Man, this guy literally only completed the first episode of the game? How long does he plan to drag this out? Well, don't worry. I am here to say at the very least that we will complete more than one episode in the next part, and hopefully there won't be as big a gap in between recording it and publishing as there was with this one. Now, I would like to know whether you guys want to see the gacha section still included in the video or not, so just let me know, as I know they lengthen the video quite a bit, even cut down as they are. I'm fine either leaving them in or removing them, just as long as it keeps it entertaining for you guys. Now, in case any of you were interested, I did in fact create this account on the Hollyberry server, so I guess feel free to do with that information as you will. Well, that wraps up this part, so I hope you all enjoyed, and I will see you next time. Tim Bugster, out.